Hello again.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, yes.
Merry Christmas.
Last one until Christmas, this is.
Yes, it is, yes. The one kind of will follow right in the middle of Christmas and New Year, so this is probably the last one of the year, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to be quite busy between Christmas and New Year, so...
Yeah, the one that would be the 30th, we'll have to reschedule that for possibly the week after.
Yes,
make that a 3-week gap.
Possibly.
But yeah, how has it been in the world of That British Guy?
It's not been too bad. Thankfully the previous week I was getting a bit ahead, so I'd kind of had a fairly easy week, but this coming week is going to be quite busy because of, as we say, Christmas and the bit in between before New Year. I want to still have content, but I won't be around next weekend or much between Christmas and New Year, so I've got a very busy weekend.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Yes.
It's sort of the same here. Mine's more been recently. I haven't had too much time to film stuff, and also had the cold the week before when I could have filmed something.
Ah, right, yes.
The voice was... I think when I did the Let's Go video, like the why you should buy Let's Go, and then our podcast, that was when the voice was...
Yes, gone.
If I didn't know my voice was going when I was doing Let's Go, but listening back to it, I'm like, oh god, I was getting very grainy at times.
Yeah, I kind of heard that during bits of the podcast. Talking to you while we were recording it, it didn't sound as bad, but then editing bits for it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I think genuinely recording that Let's Go video was what started to stretch the voice, because I hadn't really spoke much all day.
Ah.
And then I came back. I did the footage of it first, and then I filmed the voiceover bit after. So I did all the editing first, and then I literally put the camera to my face and started talking. Yeah. And I think it was doing constant talking for about 20 minutes that made my voice go, no, I've had it. I'm done. And then that was and then a week of nothing. Couldn't do anything. It was too grainy. And then had a fairly busy week this week, but got one through.
Cool.
That's Christmas for you.
It is, yeah.
Try and get all the filming done for all the subscribers out there. That should be good.
All that wonderful content.
Yeah. So have you got... I'm assuming you've got a fair bit planned. I say fair bit. I'm assuming you've got an average amount planned for the coming weeks in hindsight of Christmas.
I'm kind of looking ahead. Where are we today? There. So, yeah, I've got my last episode of my WrestleGamia series this Tuesday, which I still need to record. That'll be the end of that. And then I've got my other PlayStation Plus review at the end of the week.
Okay.
And yeah, just some gameplay bits and pieces then kind of scattered around in between Christmas and New Year, really, because it's kind of the only thing that I can do. I don't really want to start anything new until the new year for obvious reasons. So it will just be kind of bits and pieces that I can do in the interim, really, that are just kind of standalone bits of stuff.
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Easier to create as well. Easy content to get going as a bit of gameplay. Not, simply, it's a lot easier in the editing suite, I'll call it.
Yes.
It's just very,
yes, I found that out very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you haven't got to keep chopping and changing, because of obviously... you've got the gameplay there, so if there's bits of silence or bits where you muck up, you've just got to kind of keep it in there and let people enjoy the actual gameplay side of it.
That is exactly right.
Yes.
That sounds good, though. I think the only thing I've got scheduled at the moment is my Christmas special.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's essentially... I'm trying not to give too much away to people, but it's essentially a music video, and it's just a bit of fun. It's not, like, overly serious. It's just, right, what can we do that's going to be a laugh around Christmas time?
Fair play.
Yeah. Of which you're going to be featuring in, which you've helped me out with. So that's,
I'm intrigued to know how you're going to use me in that video.
Yeah, well, obviously you provided a message, which the subscribers will hear at the beginning, along with mine. But then, the other bit of footage you've provided, I've not used it in any embarrassing or silly, bad ways. It is all in a good way, but you'll see what I mean.
Cool. When is that this week, or is that a Christmas Day thing, or?
That should be this week. I'm aiming for this week.
Oh, okay,
I shouldn't
cool.
have too much editing to do. I've just got to finish some filming for it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to send a tweet out when this video goes out, because the only clue I'll give is that I've got to do some of the filming of me climbing up a tree. So it's...
Right.
Which confuses everyone, but hopefully more intrigues them than puts them off.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will be... By the time this has gone out, I will have tweeted a video of me climbing up a tree.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I haven't done that since I was about 12, so we'll see,
Just
see how it gets on.
Don't fall out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, just... what was it you wanted to talk about today, anyway? Because I don't even know what you wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah. No, normally we kind of pre-prep that, but to be honest, this was kind of me just thinking very late last night and early this morning. Just kind of about 2019, really.
Right, okay.
Because, well, anyone that has sort of been following me a bit may or may not be aware of the issues, shall we say, that I've had with 2018, specifically surrounding the house. I did a fair few kind of farewell-ish videos towards the beginning of the year, expecting a bit of a gap to move into my house to set up a new studio, and that was kind of when I was going to effectively launch the channel 2.0, really. And stuff happened with the house, and we haven't been able to move in, so we've been stuck in the flat, so that never really happened. And we've kind of got to a point now where it's looking fairly likely that at the beginning of next year, hopefully, that will come to fruition, and we'll be in, and I'll be able to set up the new studio and kind of relaunch the channel 2.0. But kind of along with that, I've got other bits and pieces that kind of I was just going to be doing in 2019 anyway. So, yeah, it was just kind of discussing and letting people know about those, really, as to what's coming. Trying to keep my own brain positive with regards to that, and then kind of look ahead rather than back, because personally, as soon as 2018 finishes, I will be rejoicing, because it's been a bit of a bitch of a year.
Yes, it has.
For
so many levels.
Various different reasons. Yes. Yeah.
Does that mean that then Channel 2.0 is extremely likely for 2019 with the house move then?
I bloody hope so, yes. Yes.
It would be really ridiculous if you had to wait an entire year for the house that you already own to be...
Very much so, yeah. I mean, we've owned it since March, and still here we are in December, and we can't actually live in it mainly for health reasons, as well as structural reasons. But, yes, in 2019 when it's fixed, but even before then, I think I kind of hinted towards two projects maybe a month or so ago with you that I am doing, one of which I want to reveal now, just because. It is written in its entirety, but I haven't got any footage for anything yet, so that will be kind of my next thing. And it's based off of something that I'd already been doing this year, and even late 2017 I think I started it, and basically what it is using a wrestling game that I have, 2K14, because it's got kind of a story mode builder to it.
Okay.
I use that to create footage to create a weekly episodic show to tell stories with, called it's basically as passé as you can make it. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's called the Very British Wrestling Federation.
Is it deliberately ridiculous?
Oh, yes. It's on the nose of ridiculous as much as I can make it. You've got characters there that, I'm sure you'll appreciate. One of them is a guy called the Hooligan. And he is basically a football hooligan in a Newcastle United shirt. And the only reason I put him in a Newcastle United shirt was really, it was the easiest kind of identifiable football shirt I could get with the creation features, because you just put a t-shirt with black and white stripes on there, It's fairly obvious what it is, especially when I then put Shearer 9 on the back of it.
Yeah, I suppose, not to generalise fans, but I suppose a Millwall shirt isn't very recognisable.
No, that is true. I suppose I could have done something like a West Ham or something, but there we go. It was just a bit more fiddly with the bits of blue trim. It was a lot easier to do black and white stripes. So that's...
West Ham fans haven't punched horses lately.
Indeed. So, you've got guys like that. You've got a guy that's dressed up as a prince. And he's got a kind of a manager who is a princess. You've got a typical Essex girl called Brittany. There's a few foreign characters in there as well. So I've got the ridiculous stereotypical French guy with the beret and the little moustache. I've got an Australian guy with the hat. Unfortunately, not with the corks dripping down because that wasn't on the in the game, but that kind of guy. Just as many ridiculous characters as that. And I did start this late 2017 with the intention of making it an ongoing weekly thing, but with the amount of editing, and also I do all the commentary and voices for all the characters, for all the bits in between the matches. So as you can imagine, with adding all that in is very, very time consuming. So the plan for this now is to do kind of 10 weeks with kind of then a big show at the end, and then maybe do it again in sort of 6-8 months later in the year, rather than the initial intention was literally to make this a weekly show every single week. You can imagine how much work that was, so it kind of died because of that. But I'm bringing it back mainly because I was inspired by World of Sport when that was on ITV. And they just did a 10-episode run. I thought, okay, I'll give that a bash. But the other secret project is coming as well. I won't reveal that just yet, but that will be in 2019. Just trying to think of me years then. Obviously, I mentioned earlier WrestleGamia is coming to an end, so I will be doing a second version of that. I'll be picking up another game and playing through kind of the story mode or the season mode of that. Week at a time. I haven't decided the game yet. I've got 2 in mind, but I'm not sure which one to pick. But the other main thing, and this really does kind of hinge on the house and the new studio, is Twitch.
Oh, yes.
I have a Twitch, and I've already got a Twitch channel. I was bored at work one day, so I just kind of filled in all the bits and pieces. So there is officially a That British Guy Twitch channel. There's nothing on it yet, and there won't be anything on it until I'm in the new studio and I have the new setup, because I kind of want to focus on newer games, which will probably hinge more on my PS4, which I don't have here with me in this studio. So... That's looking at Twitch, it seems if you play Fortnite, you'll get about 4 million followers anyway. Well, I refuse to play that game. Seems like the only game people are playing on there these days. Yeah, it's hate that. No, we won't do that. Just no. To be honest, the game I have in mind at the moment is No Man's Sky, and I know there was a lot of flack about that when it first came out, but the game now is effectively a completely different game from the one they initially released. And obviously they kind of updated it for free because they realised that they basically lied to everyone, and have kind of turned it into the game that they initially advertised it as, and it's quite fun, but I haven't properly had a reason to go back to it in depth, and I'm hoping this will kind of give me a reason for that. Also, because it's kind of open-ended, I can just kind of stop whenever I want, or do it how I want to do it, rather than have an objective and be like, okay, well, I'm recording for, say, an hour, I need to get to point B from point A within an hour, whereas with that, because it's so open, I could just kind of do what I want, explore a planet for an hour, or a whole solar system, or just go as far as I can towards the centre of the universe within an hour and go from there, really. Sounds alright. With the with the Twitch, would there be a Patreon with that as well? That is something that I have set up, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, at this stage. Okay. again, I thought, well, if I get it now with the name now, if I then make it live, everything's kind of all under one bubble together. But to be honest, the only reason I'm doing the Twitch stuff is so that I can kind of have an excuse to play newer games on there that don't lend themselves to the channel as much. They will probably be pretty much exclusively PlayStation 4, maybe PlayStation 3 sorts of games, and probably not anything to do with the wrestling side of things, because that's mainly what the channel's for.
Okay, fair enough.
Hence sort of new No Man's Sky, things like that. So, yeah, that's the intention.
Takes a focus away from the sort of more retro gaming that's on the channel and then makes the more modern side on Twitch.
Yeah, it's kind of an intentional divide of the two so that it doesn't kind of muddy the water. If people just want to watch the newer stuff, they can effectively ignore my channel. And if people don't really care about Twitch or don't want to use Twitch or have got no interest in the newer stuff, then they can avoid that. Hopefully people will kind of dip into both, and obviously I can use Twitter and Facebook to kind of open that up to everybody, and whoever wants to listen can listen, and whoever wants to ignore it can ignore it. Yeah,
Twitch should be a good way to get people into the channel as well, I would think. Cause
hopefully, it seems to be being used more and more, so it seems stupid to not use it myself, really.
Yeah. Will you just be doing like the audio as you play the game, or will you have yourself on like a little video stream?
It depends on the setup in the room, really. Until I move into the house and kind of set that room up, I don't really know what kind of setup I'm going to be able to have. Hopefully with camera, but I honestly don't know. I don't really know how Twitch works in terms of, well, generally anyway, and in terms of PS4, so it'll be a bit of a learning experience for me.
Yeah, it does make sense. I've only ever watched, I've never...
Yeah, same.
Done anything,
Same, so...
I will look out for that then.
I will do whatever I can do with it, and post whenever I've got time, really. That will probably be less structured. It won't be it's Sunday morning, it's Twitch day.
Yeah. That'll be as and when you can.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
If you've done your filming and there's no videos to post in the immediate 48 hours, you're like, oh, well.
Yeah.
I'll log in.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Pretty much.
I've got Twitch, so I shall find you and follow you on there.
Cool.
Is it just literally that British guy as a username?
I think so, yes. As I said, when things kind of get nearer to completion, I'll kind of make more of a big thing of it, but
for the time being, watch this space.
Yeah, the idea was, if I say it now, especially with the wrestling show as well, if I say it now, I've effectively committed to it, so I've now got to do it.
Yeah. Where you're saying, right, I'll do this eventually.
Yeah, I'm very good at eventually never coming, so if I actually say it's going to be a thing, then it becomes a thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So, yeah.
That's sort of similar to the Furrow region thing I've been doing, which is as and when I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anybody listening to this has seen my recent sort of part 1 of the Furrow region based on the UK video. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed doing it.
Just a quick side thing. Did you use me as a clue?
Did I use you as a clue?
Yeah, with the whole British thing.
Not entirely. I put a British flag in place of one of the... Because on the background of this podcast, as you might see if you look on the screen... on mine I use a background of loads of little game logos, and near your username, where you would usually have the games around it, I swapped one of them round for a British flag.
Oh, right.
I thought it would make sense.
Yes.
And then in a couple of videos I'd had my map up and my flag up, just as I thought, this could be fun.
Yeah.
I just want some people to watch it and go, oh, I didn't notice that.
Nice.
Like my lovely partner, who also spends time in this room.
Yeah.
Did not even just watch the videos and didn't notice. She also spent time in the room and didn't. She sort of goes, "Why is that on the wall?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Okay, cool.
Brilliant.
Carry on. But yeah, no, it's much like your Twitch thing, as and when. This will be an as and when as well, because of course, if you've seen it, it's built on Minecraft, which isn't something you can necessarily do in a couple of evenings, ready for a weekly video. I mean, for example, I started that one when I went to Newcastle, and that was sort of early to mid-November. So it's taken over, well, probably about a month or so, actually, to get that together. But that did include a weekend away, where I wasn't watching football or touring the stadium. I was probably just in the hotel, chilling with some crisps, playing that, watching telly. But yeah, I thought today I'll try and preview a couple of locations I'm going to be using.
Oh, okay.
As well as some extra information, because obviously I've created not just the map and written extensive notes. I don't know if you can hear my pages turning.
I do,
but
hear
I've written
paper,
extensive
yes.
notes on each town, what their names are, what's going to be in there. So I'm ready to build them. But I've also created, I've invented Pokemon, which I think in the community they call them Fakemon, or Fakemon, whatever you want to say.
Oh, okay.
But I can't draw to save my life, so I haven't done that. But I was just going to go through a couple of gyms I'm going to use in the region, and then talk through a few Pokemon I've created but can't draw because I'm not very good at it. Maybe one day I'll team up with someone that can actually draw. But until then, I've got them here.
Okay.
So in the video, I showed the Pokemon Lab,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I've changed, because it's going to be based if you played a game.
Yeah.
So in the Pokemon Lab, there, instead of just going in and talking to a professor in a coat and getting a Pokemon off them, you go in, you can talk to them, obviously, but then they'll send you to a certain area. They're like, oh, which one do you want to choose? And then they'll show you, and then you'll be like, oh, you've chose that one, cool, right, go find it. So, like, the grass type, of course, was upstairs in an outdoor tree growing on a roof type scenario.
Yeah.
And that was based off the Pokemon Fribbit, which evolves into Frogrove. I'm just going to say now, the second stage evolutions, I haven't really put much thought into them just yet, apart from the names and the types. Frogrove, and then that'll evolve into Frog and Roll, and they are basically tree frogs. They're based off the Australian tree frogs, which grow to be quite large, almost like toads.
Right.
So Fribbit's a nice little cute tree frog, because they are awesome. I'm not going to lie, they're one of my favourite animals. And then Frogrove, not too much thought, but Frog and Roll is basically going to be sort of like a fat frog that's almost spherical.
Right.
But with, like, its limbs can... Because its body is so sort of slimy, it can move its arms and legs in so that it can roll around, and that's one of its attacks sort of thing. It's going to have that sort of movement, and that's going to be its sort of gimmick, if that makes sense.
What, almost like a rolling tackle?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a move called Rollout, which doubles every time you get hit by it. But I am going to try and invent a specific move for that Pokemon.
Cool.
And they're all going to be pure grass types. There's no water types in there, even though it's a frog. It's all it's just pure grass.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm breaking the trends. And then we'll go on to the fire type, which was in the lava pit, which is awesome. I enjoyed doing that. Which is called Cubburn, which is just a cub jaguar. Or, no, a cub jaguar or panther, either way. Evolving into Jagachar. And then the final stage evolution is Cremantha.
Right.
Which is it's going to be the first quadrupedal, fully evolved fire starter. Because every single fire starter so far has been bipedal, they've just been on two legs. And for ages I've just been thinking, we really need something like a panther or like a four-legged sort of cat-type beast type, a four-legged fire start. And that's what that's going to be. Haven't put too much thought into it apart from that, but that's what that one is.
I've just got a prodigy in my head now because you keep saying Firestarter.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like Prodigy. Maybe I'll base one off of yeah.
One called Keith.
And then the water starter. I'm surprised we've had 7 generations of Pokemon, 809 Pokemon so far, and we still haven't got a dolphin Pokemon. Not once.
Really?
So yeah, really. We've got an Orca, which is Kyogre, the legendary Pokemon, but we haven't got a dolphin at all. So considering South West Wales in Pembrokeshire has got the largest pod of dolphins in Europe, I thought, well, I'm going to take advantage of this.
That makes
the UK,
sense.
Yeah, let's get a dolphin in. So I've got Damfin, which evolves into Marafin, which is just a slightly bigger dolphin, basically. And then that's going to evolve into Walkerfall, which is an orca, and like its sort of fins are going to be like waterfalls. They're going to be constantly trickling out with water, no matter where it goes.
Right.
So it's sort of there's a constant stream of water just dripping out of Walkerfall's fins,
Okay.
essentially.
Like the
But then
weird things on Doctor Who on Mars.
Yeah, essentially like that, but on a slightly bigger scale,
Yeah.
and a more broad, and using it as an attacking advantage.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I suddenly realised how long I take to talk about all
That's
of these.
all right.
I'm actually very passionate
I
about them.
took ages, to be honest. It's going to be a longer episode than normal, but we did
Yeah.
a short one last time, so they average
we were
out.
very ill. But anyway, I'll mention a couple of gyms I've got now, because the next one is actually going to be in the next town that I'm building on Minecraft, which is going to be based off of Colchester, because you start in the southeast, because that's where we live.
It is.
Yeah, I thought, why not? So, the first gym is actually going to be based off of Colchester. Usually you get rock-type gyms first and all those sorts of things, but this one is the fairy-type gym at Colchester.
Right.
It's going to be full of, like, lore and everything, and inside this gym, based off of the castle, is going to be people in, like, Roman dress and dressed up as, I don't want to say some Roman soldiers, but, that sort of period clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be two people at a door, blocking the door with their big swords, basically. And you have to face them in a double battle. And if you win, they obviously let you through. And then you go on to the next set, and that happens 3 times. So, but you've got to have 3 double battles, and then you take on the gym leader, the fairy-type gym leader.
Called Julius.
Yeah, why not? I haven't actually thought of their names, so that could be their name now. Julius. Well, Pokemon are great with their names, because there is the Master Trainers in Let's Go. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. The Zubat and Golbat lines, considering their bats, their Master Trainer names are Keaton and West. I'm assuming based off of Batman, of Adam West and... yeah.
It's like, where are they going? Oh, yes. Yeah.
And also the Machamp Master Trainer is called Randy, I think. Based off of Randy Orton, I would assume.
Maybe.
It's or is it called Orton? It's one of those 2 names.
Oh, right. Okay.
And everyone's basically saying, well, that's got to be. It's a 4-armed fighting type. That's got to be based off of wrestling. Yeah. It's got to be. See, wrestling and Pokemon crossover.
Should have called him Keith after his middle name. See?
Master Trainer Keith.
Yeah. Hats off to the Keiths.
I've got the strongest Machamp in the world. What's your name? Keith. Yeah, well, it could happen. Yes, but that's essentially that gym. Every gym obviously introduces like a new Pokemon with that gym. That's how the games sort of introduce them. And I've invented a Fairy type, which is also part Dark type, so that's 2 of the new types.
Mm-hmm.
And Fairy Dark isn't really a combination they've done before. It's a unique typing, if it was to exist. And I've called it Elfiery. And it's basically an elf, which is very troublesome. Like an anti-elf, I'm going to call it.
Like an imp.
Yes, an imp. Exactly like an imp, yeah. So it's an elf, it's based off of fear, and a fairy, so like Elfiery. And that's essentially their signature Pokemon. And that's that gym.
Cool.
And that's the one that's coming next. So, I've got the starters there, I've got that gym there, and I might save some more of this information for the next podcast, actually. I might sort of do a 2-parter section.
Okay.
Because I've still got about 2/3 of my list that I was going to talk about, so I might save that.
Fair play.
I might save that for a part 2, to be honest, actually. Yeah, otherwise I'll be here all day. But to give it a general overview, I've invented, just by writing, some of them are awful, they're really awful, but I've invented 102 Pokemon so far, just from my own imagination. I've been looking at all the unique typings that haven't been done yet, and I've been trying to basically use those. And for example, actually I'll talk about one more. You always get a little normal type at the start of each game, like a Rattata or something like that.
Yeah.
So mine is based off of a lemur, and the first one's called Karma, and it's just a normal type. Then it evolves when you have a ghost type in your party.
Right.
And it evolves into Madamur, which is basically a haunted lemur. And it's a normal ghost type. So it sort of takes on part of the spirit of the ghost type that's in your party, and then instead of being all calm and relaxed, like nice little lemur, it then becomes very energetic and lively, mad and haunted, basically. Not scary haunted, but just...
Oh, okay.
It never stops. It never runs out of energy. It's always producing energy, and you can't calm it down, basically.
It's a 5-year-old on fizzy sweets.
Yeah, but never ending.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be normal ghost type, which I think is possibly another type that hasn't been used, type combination. But I possibly think that's the best type combination you can get. Because it's only going to have one weakness, which is dark type. And being both normal and ghost, it is immune to fighting ghost and normal types.
Handy.
So it's immune completely to 3 out of 18 types. That's a sixth of all types that exist. Doesn't even affect it.
And it's immune entirely to itself, so that could be a long, arduous fight.
Exactly, yeah. Where ghost is usually weak to ghost, because it's now part normal, which resists ghost, it's given one of its weaknesses up.
Yeah.
And equally, where normal is weak to fighting, fighting doesn't affect ghost, so it's given up that weak. It's not only just given up weaknesses, it's created immunities completely. So, normal ghost type lemur, why not?
Fair play.
I mean, if that existed, that'd probably be one of my favourite Pokemon, I'll be honest. That'd be used in competitive battling all over the place, I would assume.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Switching out when you know someone's going to use a move and you bring in that. I don't know what ability it would have, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll keep the rest for Podisode 6, I think it'll be, won't it, in the new year?
I've lost count as to how many we've done, but 6, 7, something. Yeah.
Yeah, almost an entire series in terms of British programmes.
Yeah. Cool.
Americans go for 24, England and Scotland, everything. Britain goes for 6.
That's because we've got no money and they have all the money.
Yeah, as proved in Doctor Who.
Indeed,
but anyway,
yes.
That's a conversation for a different show.
Nice. So, many things in the pipeline still then?
Yeah. I need to finish off my Stadium Gym Leader Challenge as well. I've only got Blaine and Giovanni left, 7th and 8th gym, so I might film that one night.
Get it done before the year's out.
Yeah. There is the Elite Four after that, but at least I've done the 8 gyms. That can be done.
Fair enough. Okay.
And more Master Trainer series. Caterpie versus Caterpie.
So many.
Not? Yeah, there are loads. But yeah, so that's what's going to... Yeah. Yeah, that's what's coming up.
Cool.
People should watch our channels because they sound like they're interesting. They're going to sound like they're going to be interesting for the next few weeks.
I hope so. Well, I'd like to think they've been fairly interesting beforehand, but hopefully going forward.
We've also got the Mario Kart thing to do in the new year as well, haven't we?
Yes, we definitely. We've kind of had to. Christmas got in the way, but that will definitely be a New Year thing. Just as kind of an aside to that, I realised that a lot of my stuff has been very PlayStation centric, and I do have a SNES and a Mega Drive kind of sitting collecting dust, and I want to kind of get them out. So I need that kind of adapter thing so that I can link them up as well. So that we can do the Mario Kart thing with my SNES. Start at the beginning.
Yeah. I think that's partly why I used Minecraft. I know I was making a Pokemon region on it, but I thought I've used Pokemon games so often I need to branch out.
Yeah, mix up. Plus, with Minecraft, you can kind of do what you want, so it made sense with what you were doing. So
yeah, Minecraft's a perfect game for flat earthers. It's the proof they use.
Indeed,
see, look, told you.
Just it's flat.
Yeah, well, on that note then, I'll bid you goodbye, and I'm going to go finish filming my Christmas special.
Lovely.
Go climb up a tree.
Enjoy.
Yes, enjoy. Yeah, have a lovely week.
Have a lovely Christmas and
yourself.
A New Year, and I'm sure I will see you and speak to you before then, but probably not in this medium. No. So anyone on your channel that doesn't kind of look at me regularly, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you guys, and I'll see you in 2019.
Yeah, and of course the same to your subscribers who may not know of my my work and don't watch me regularly. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you guys as well, and of course my subscribers. Lovely. I won't forget them. Yes, see you later.
See you later.